It doesn't matter if I'm working 40 or 60 hours a week. Even when I'm working, I feel like I'm on permanent vacation. With all the palm trees and the sunny weather and the beaches, it is such a joy to live here.
Hello, and welcome to the Palm Beach County Living Podcast. Here we talk about all the amazing people, events, businesses, and everything that makes Palm Beach County, Florida, such a fantastic place to live. As a local real estate agent, my clients always ask me about the best restaurants, events, jobs, and people here. So I developed this show to help you get a feel for all of the best that the Palm Beaches has to offer. With that being said, let's start the show right now. Hi, Ron. Thanks for joining me today. It's so great to see you again. I noticed that you've had some great changes going on in your life recently. We met not too long ago when my team and I helped you find a house in Wellington. Please tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you moved from California, but we'd love to know about you, your family, and your business.
Absolutely. First, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure. So my name is Ron Mullins. I'm from originally from Kentucky. I was stationed out in the Marines in California. Started working in the executive protection industry in Los Angeles, and I really enjoyed the work, and I really enjoyed the company that I worked for. Didn't really care for the city too much.
Mhm.
So it was at that time I requested a relocation. My company said, "How about Rhode Island?" I said, "Let's try somewhere warmer." And they said West Palm Beach, Florida, and I said, "That's it, perfect." And so that's how I met you guys.
That's awesome. So, I mean, tell me the difference between California and Florida. I know weather-wise we're kind of similar, but um, I mean, is there any pros or cons you would say between California and Florida?
Absolutely. And each place does have the pros and cons. In Los Angeles, one of the pros was, we could walk everywhere. We could walk.
Yeah.
The weather was less humid and a little more
Mhm.
cool, so that was nice. Um, However, Florida, it's just absolutely beautiful down here, especially in Palm Beach. I've said it since I got here. It doesn't matter if I'm working 40 or 60 hours a week. Even when I'm working, I feel like I'm on permanent vacation. With all the palm trees and the sunny weather and the beaches, it is such a joy to live here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know you obviously like you said, you own your own private security business and that you serve high net wealth clients here in Palm Beach County. Tell us about the company. What exactly do you do?
So the company is called Ironclad Protective Services, and what we do is we offer executive protection services to high net worth individuals. In addition to around the clock residential security, essentially we're at their residence 24/7, 365. And we also offer corporate security, driving services, and just recently we began development on our uniform guard division, more suited for facilities and businesses.
Fascinating. Who do you think would be your ideal client?
My ideal client is someone that listens to our security recommendations. I understand that schedules change. There may be uh, things change with our clients that we have to change our procedures, on the fly and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I've seen time and time again where myself as well as others in the industries will offer a suggestion, and it'll kind of get pushed aside, and then there's breach in security. It's like, well, it's unfortunate, but security is considered more of an afterthought. And
Mm,
there's a lot of cost concerns with that, and I get it. Not every security measure is going to be feasible. Um, that being said, I view security just like insurance, whether it's home, auto, life, or health insurance. It's something that you don't like paying for, but
mm.
you're going to be glad when you have it. And at the end of the day, all we can do is give our professional opinion. It's ultimately up to the client's discretion whether they want to listen to our recommendations.
Mm. Okay. How did you become interested in doing this?
Let's see. This may have been about 11 years ago. I was in Afghanistan, dating my girlfriend, now wife. And we were talking about what I was going to do after I got back. And she said, "Well, I'm going to go to college at UCLA in Los Angeles." And I said, "Well, I'll get a job in Los Angeles without giving it a second thought." And
Mhm.
after I hung up the phone, I said, "Well, I guess I'm getting a job in Los Angeles now." Um, so I got out and I initially looked at applying for the Los Angeles Police Department. However,
Mhm.
it's like a 6 month wait time, and I need to start working a little bit sooner. And I'd always been interested in executive protection, the whole bodyguard type thing in the suit.
Mhm.
And I found a company in Los Angeles, Gavin Becker and Associates. Applied for them. Luckily, I was hired on, and I worked for them for about 8.5 years.
Fascinating. Great. So, what advice would you give someone who's trying to pursue a career in security?
Get training. There are so many different resources and so many different industry professionals out there that offer different services from executive protection courses to driving courses to medical to firearms.
Mm,
Get training. It's out there. And the more training you have, the better. It's just going to make you a more well rounded EP agent. Uh, that and networking. Networking in this industry is such a huge thing. And when you first get started, you can't say, you can't afford to say no to any security detail. You're
mhm,
going to have to take everything that comes your way. And unfortunately, it's not always going to be the super sexy red carpet guarding the celebrity. Sometimes you're going to
mhm.
be sitting in your car, watching a building from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And it's just all about managing your expectations of what this industry can do for you and what you're going to be required to do.
I never really thought about all the different facets. That's pretty interesting. When you have an idea in your mind of private security, you think red carpet, you think, people that are walking while they're shopping and you're making sure no one's approaching them and the paparazzi. But yeah, there's so many different I guess levels that you just kind of really don't even think about. It doesn't come to front of mind.
Mhm.
What myth or anything you would like to debunk about private security?
Well, we're not all 6'5", 280 pounds. I know traditionally people think bodyguard, they think just these big burly people push people around, but that's not the case. Different clients are going to have different preferences and the type of people that they want guarding them. Some people want protection agents with that are tall,
Mhm,
short, big, skinny, different skin complexions,
mhm,
even different genders a lot of the times,
mm,
and so that's a big one. And it's we're not just there to push people around or stand in front of an attacker. In the executive protection industry, we place a huge emphasis on customer service and confidentiality, as well as blending in.
mhm,
And primarily, we're there not only to protect our principals, our protectees, but also to make sure the day goes smoothly. And that can be anything from making sure they're staying on schedule with their day, or offering suggestions for restaurants or coffee shops. And granted, those are two very very basic examples, but we're there for much more than just being a bodyguard.
that's awesome. Okay. So if listeners wanted to find you, how can they contact you? How can they hire you?
Well, they can contact me at my email address, and that's going to be rmullins@ironcladprotectiveservices.com. They can visit our website for more information at www.ironcladprotectiveservices.com, and make sure it's Ironclad Protective Services with an S on the end, because if not, it will take you to a chauffeur service, or I'm sorry, a chaperone service in Tennessee. And you can also reach me through our work phone at 561-202-3926. Although I will say, though, their website is currently undergoing an overhaul at the moment. So
Okay. All right. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like people to know about your business?
nothing that I can think of right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I know that you did work in the Marines. What exactly did you do in the military?
So I was a 0331, which is a machine gunner in the
Oh,
infantry, and I was stationed with 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines out in Camp Pendleton, California.
wow. Wow. That's pretty impressive, I have
It
to
was a fun
say.
job. Fun job.
What do you miss most about marine life?
Definitely the camaraderie.
Okay.
And that's sort of the go-to answer for any veteran, but it's the camaraderie. It's the brotherhood and the bonds that you form and the relationships you develop in the military are some of the closest you'll ever have.
Mm.
That and shooting belt-fed weapons on the government's dime was a pretty big upside.
Okay. Conversely, what don't you miss about military life?
I'll try to narrow it down to one. It's a lot. It's a lot of the ridiculousness and yelling with no training benefit whatsoever. Everyone's always screaming at someone, and there is a there's a big need for inducing stress and yelling in certain training environments. Or yelling at a grown man because he's wearing white socks instead of brown just doesn't seem like it's beneficial to anybody. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. Okay. All right. So I know we talked about the move from California to Florida. Um, and we talked about what you miss most about California and what you like best about Florida. But is there anything specifically in Wellington that you have come to enjoy, specifically in the city?
everything that the people here are nice. Everything. The landscape's beautiful. It's all the shops around here are great. Yeah, it's the full package around here between the schools that hopefully I can enroll my daughter in one day
Mhm.
to the equestrian stuff that I hope to get involved in through
Mhm.
the security side of it. It's such a pleasant place to live and everyone's nice. It's a beautiful area.
That's great. So what's next for you? What's the future for your company look like?
So the future for our company is we want to continue to grow in the Palm Beach area, and we want to be the gold standard for protection in the South Florida area. Pretty much anytime that someone even thinks of protection, we want to be at the forefront of their mind. Hey, Ironclad Protective Services, they can do it all. That being said, as I do live in Wellington, we would really like to explore the security needs of the equestrian industry a little more.
Mhm.
Whether that's the events they hold or the VIP clients they bring into town, we'd certainly like to explore that a little more forward.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. It is so populous with equestrian people, and so many people come from all over. So that's a really that's a really great move and idea. Um, in a perfect world, what type of business are you running? What's your personal life in 5 years look like?
In 5 years, in a perfect world, ideally, I'd like to have a very, very balanced work home life.
Hmm.
One where I can take more of a managerial role in my company rather than more of the operational side of it. However, that's not going to be possible without first building solid relationships with clients who are a good fit and continue to expand the company within that time. Um, the fact of the matter is I live in Wellington and I'm raising my family here with my wife and my daughter. And one of the big aspects of what Wellington is the equestrian industry. And I feel the services I can provide to that industry is just going to keep bringing businesses here, making it a better place to live and more of a thriving place for my family to grow in.
That's great. Okay, so a fun question here. If you could have lunch with anyone, live or dead, who would you have lunch with?
Yeah, I've thought about this before in the past, and there's so many people out there. I've made the joke before. I'd love to have lunch with Abraham Lincoln's protection detail and ask him what they would think about leaving the post. But no, if I had to pick one, it would be John Basilone. And so John Basilone, he was a Marine back in World War II, and he won the Medal of Honor for his actions on Guadalcanal when his
Wow.
machine gun section repelled a large assault from the Japanese forces that were closing in on him. He's uh, he's sort of a huge deal with my MOS machine gunner. He kind of has a cult following. He's known as the Gunfather.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I'd just like to have lunch with that guy and ask him, what was going through his mind the night he won his or the on the night he did the actions that awarded him the Medal of Honor, and just ask him, in his opinion, what made a good leader.
Mm. Okay, and where would you have lunch?
That's a very good question.
Mm.
Somewhere with barbecue.
Oh,
Somewhere
barbecue.
with barbecue.
Okay, I do enjoy barbecue as well. Are there any places in Wellington that you like to visit and go to lunch to?
uh, you know, Toulouse. I really like Toulouse.
Okay, yeah. Mhm.
I was here for so long, and for some reason never ate at it, and then I've had it 3 times in the last 3 months, so
Yeah, it is good. I've
I
been
love
there
the place.
too.
I love it.
I've been there too. Yeah, I am a big barbecue fan. I mean, California. I always think, obviously, seafood and all sorts of fun things. Do they have a big barbecue spot in California? Is that known for
Not
barbecue?
necessarily that their big thing is Mexican food,
Oh yes, yeah,
which the Mexican food out there, I love Florida. Their California's Mexican food blows it out of the water.
yeah, yeah. I would.
That being said, there's a lack of Cuban food out in California. So,
Yeah.
but the thing with Los Angeles is there's so many different restaurants. You
Mm,
have to be extremely, extremely competitive in order to stay in
mhm,
business.
mhm. Yeah, I've obviously, there's plenty of Mexican places I enjoy down here, but I know when I traveled to Texas, the same thing, completely different. I
Oh, yeah.
was like, oh goodness, okay, all right, this is for real.
But you
Okay,
see, Texas, I feel like Texas has the both has the best of both. They got the barbecue and the Mexican food.
yes, yes, yeah. It really opened my eyes to the different types. Then because in Florida, like you can find some spots that are good. I just found one recently in Gardens that I enjoy. It's a small little place, but it's nothing like a big huge pit or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, but. we make up for it in other areas for sure.
The
Seafood.
seafood, absolutely. The
Yeah,
seafood.
definitely. Well, Ron, thank you so much for taking your time with me today and talking about Ironclad. I really appreciate you carving some time out from your busy schedule with your wife and your baby girl and everything that you're doing to talk with me and tell me a little bit about more about yourself. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as I said, thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast.
Thanks. All right. Next time, I'm sure we'll talk again.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Okay. Bye.